Here we are. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Julie.
And we are Heartstrings. Hi, welcome.
And as much as I really want to talk about grace, it's been a really long, day with our children. It's been a really good day. It's been a really good day.
It's been a really good, long day with bad-smelling children.
I still don't even know what that was.
Our children smelled like
Cow manure. They were on the trampoline in my backyard, and this happened last week too. And then they got all cleaned up, and then we started smelling it again. And so I have no idea where it's coming from.
We're not sure. Our children smelled like cows. That's all we know. We still love them. We did have to get creative in the smelling process.
Yeah.
To figure out how they were smelling.
I may be
and
guilty of sniffing a couple rear ends.
So, we figured out which children it was. They took showers and...
I'm thankful.
Okay.
I'm thankful they're just our children. We're having to figure this out because I'm not so sure I would so easily be able to do that with
others,
my children.
Smelly children.
Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where my mind is right now, is just kind of the chaos that this day has been. We had a birthday party today.
Yes.
Right after church.
Yep.
And it was great.
Yep.
But it was just constantly busy, and we really didn't have much time to sit and just kind of relax a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Until we got to the park. And that was actually really cool. Some different things had happened at the park.
Just being able to kind of, I don't know, see what I like to call, I saw Jesus in people. The kindness that people were showing to our children, and the way that they were playing, and it was just really neat. There was a lot of really cool stuff that really made me think about how if we were more intentional about looking for the good on a regular basis, intentionally looking for the good, I think we would see a lot less bad.
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting because the same people that Julie saw, I initially was very leery of, just because we realized because of my past with things.
Yeah.
And so it was neat to see the time play out and the kindness that was shown, and anyway.
And I guess since we vowed to be transparent in our videos,
Mm-hmm.
this is a big part of this is about being transparent, about being real. This is what our day looked like. It's been crazy, it's been good, it's been nice. There have been moments that I have kind of sat there and gone, is this
Just like this?
Is this...
Yeah, and that happens too.
Well, and some of it was the anger in children. But that was really cool how that was dealt with too. I had a lot of very proud moments.
There were 1,000 things that we noticed today.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
I think one of the biggest ones was the issue with my child who was very, very angry, and how he kept trying to blame me for his problem.
And the reason why he was angry.
I mean, he was angry because I took away his privilege of using the rollerblades. Well, I did that because he stood over by the car and he was trying to yell at me from the car, and I realized this is not okay, you're screaming at me from across the parking lot. Whereas in times past, I would maybe just go over and try to figure out what's going on, so he'd stop screaming and, try to like...
Concerned that he was bothering other people.
Yes, that he was bothering other people.
Which is that codependency.
Yes. And so it was neat for me to be able to kind of sit back and be like, wow, that's his monkey over there because he's sitting there screaming. And I'm sitting over here under the nice trees. And if he needs something, he could come over and ask me for it, without screaming at the top of his lungs. And so basically I ignored him.
And he did start to walk towards you.
He did.
And then he'd stop and
he started screaming again. And so I was just like, and I'm not going to entertain that kind of naughty behavior. And so eventually got tired of it and finally came towards me. Whereas in years past, I would be embarrassed. What are these people going to think around me with my child screaming at me? And, oh no, I need to stop him and run over to him. But I did not do that. And so anyway, he finally came to me. Well, then he came to me with an attitude of, I told you to, this is what he said, I told you to open the car and get my I told you to open the car and get my rollerblades for me. And immediately, I was just like, have I always let my child talk to me this way? I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe I have. And I realized right away that he's ordering me around next. First he's screaming at me, then he's ordering me around. And
she stayed calm.
I did stay calm.
She stayed calm the whole time. It was like...
I'm usually the one to flip the switch.
I could feel...
It was Jesus.
God right there. Just like...
Prayer.
It was incredible. Just incredible.
So I looked at him and I said, you are not talking very nice to Mommy right now. And I'm not going to even listen to you when you're yelling at me. And so he did it again. Well, I told you to open the car. And I was like, if you have something you need out of the car, first of all, you need to be very kind and ask me about it because it is Mommy's car and it's locked for a reason. So people don't get in it. Unfortunately, you're one of those people right now. So he never really was nice about it.
No, he never was.
And so then I was like, that thing that you wanted out of the car, you're not getting it because of your attitude. So he stormed away, and I had been like, if you change your attitude, maybe we can get it out in a little while. And he's storming away, yelling and stuff. Anyway, he comes back a second time later, and he's like, can I get the rollerblades out of the car now? And the same attitude. So anyway, to make a long story short, he did not get to use the rollerblades
at all.
In fact, he lost the whole privilege to use rollerblades for the whole day because he continued this attitude when we got back into the car and headed over here. And so I took the whole day away from him. And he was so angry that he sat in the car and pouted for an additional 30 minutes, I believe. And
I went out there and I went to get something in the car. And as soon as I opened the door, he jumped out of the car. I think he wondered if I was going to lecture him. I'm not really sure.
He just wanted to get away. That's all we know.
He ran to the back of the car, and I grabbed something out of the car, and then I closed the door, and I went around the back to try and talk to him, and he just is furious and screaming at me about how angry he is because his mom was angry, and I was like,
And then he tried to tell you that
he wanted that she was mad, and then he was so angry. And then he sits there and he goes, and she won't even let me use my ball to play with, which the ball was in the car.
And no one said anything about not using a ball.
I said, why? I said, how do you know? Did you ask her? Well, no, I just know she won't let me because she won't let me play with the rollerblades. And I was like, well, honey, you're just assuming. You're assuming that. You never asked her.
He was thinking that because I was mad and I took away the privilege of the rollerblades, obviously I'm such an evil, wicked mother that also I would take away the ball. So, this is codependency that we have taught our child on top of it. So, and I know we haven't really used that word, but that's what that is.
Yeah, we're learning we're very codependent.
Learning that we have trained our children up in the ways of codependency instead of the ways of the Lord. So we're now better for it and know. So his behavior was not her problem, number one.
Not my monkey.
She did not have to stay there and entertain it. His behavior out there was not my problem either, because I was in the house and he chose to stand out there and stew. And so until he wants to come in and approach me in a nice way and ask me for the ball,
Which he did.
which he finally did after we prompted him a little. I think Aunt Julie was out there. He finally came in. Mom, can I at least use the ball? Well, of course you can use the ball, Eli. I never said you couldn't have the ball. And so I think we all learned a lot today from this situation, and I think it's been pretty good.
I'm exhausted though. Like,
all the children had their moments of this kind of behavior.
they did, but it's
different moments.
It's been really cool though to see each individual thing. There's just been so much growth in the last several months for us, I think. And recognizing that we have struggles with codependency, that we have struggles with anger, that we have struggles with jealousy. You know, there's a lot of different things that I personally struggle with, that Jenny struggles with. And a lot of them are similar. We're sisters, so that does not surprise me that we have a lot of similar struggles. However, some of them are different. I have drug and alcohol addictions that I am in recovery for now. But it's been really cool to see how, as we work through these things and as we confess the areas that we are struggling with, and we talk openly with people about them, and we don't try and hide behind them anymore, and we're not afraid of them, it has been incredible, that feeling of freedom. Mm-hmm. It's like this.
Well, and the freedom we've given others, like I've been able to look at my husband, for example, and be like, you know, my codependency has caused me to lie to you about my feelings, which in return has been a way of me not trusting you that you'll take care of my feelings. And so that's been a problem with me. Yeah. And like my children the same way, you know, by trying to coddle them or go towards them or try to fix the problems or whatever they are is not the right message. I want to be letting them know that they can trust me with their feelings, and I can trust them, you know, to behave well. Or I can, like, it's a mutual thing where there's trust involved too. And if we're not being honest with each other, our kids, our husbands, our, you know, friends, then there isn't going to be that honesty and trust. And so we talked about that a little bit today too. And I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah. So one of them needs a drink right now, if you haven't heard. And it's getting a drink. Daddy's getting a drink. I'm going to drink some water. Anyway, we wrote a song today. And started it earlier today. Finished it at the park while we were kind of sitting there just immersed in Jesus' love. And yeah, so we're going to sing it.
Yes.
I do believe.
And it's going to sound however it sounds, because it is brand new. And this is part of the process of writing new stuff for us. It's been really cool because it comes together really quick, because it's not our music. This is God's music. And
it's worship.
It is worship. And I'm excited about it. And it will be extremely beautiful once we've been able to really, like, polish up, I think, some of the different...
Well, so this is the raw version.
Raw version of Let Grace Be Enough.
Let grace be enough. Because when we are stuck in those patterns or sinful ways, and we start listening to how we used to live in the past or who we were, we actually forget that grace is enough. To live in God's grace means living free from that sin. And that's so hard to do when your sin keeps coming up and you're still reminded of it. But my prayer is that grace is enough so that I can live forgiven and live free in His words and in His love. So that's what this song is about. Let grace be enough. I want to live forgiven in this world you've given and embrace your gift from above. Let grace be enough. Set me free from my story, help me live for your glory, and walk in your perfect love. Oh Lord, you're full of mercy, and you blessed me. Let grace be enough. Let grace be enough. Let grace be enough. I want to live forgiven in this world you've given and embrace your gift from above. Let grace be enough. Set me free from my story, help me live for your glory, and walk in your perfect love. Oh Lord, you are full of mercy, and you blessed me. Let grace be enough. Oh, let grace be enough.
Not bad.
The end.
Absolutely love it.
Love it too.
Absolutely love it.